nights, thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong. I learned how to get along, and so you're back. 3, 4, from outer space. 3, 4. I just walked in and find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have made you leave the key. I should have made you leave the key. If I had known for just 1 second, you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go.
Yes.
Just turn around now.
What is going on here? For one nasty moment, I thought that Satanism had finally arrived in Chigwell.
It's unpretentiously female, I think, is what's good about it. It's the way that women talk together.
I need a drink.
What you been doing? Who you been doing, more like?
See, I'm an East End Jewish boy, and also I lived in the Chigwell area. And, you know, it's wonderful because I know these people.
What? Leading me on about your tuckney-halfpenny little mystery, exciting my interest, then shutting me out like I'm just some nosy neighbour.
Well, you are, Dor.
It's humour that's created on character. What they do is really incidental. The characters are what make the humour.
Who do we know that's got the charm of Paul Gascoigne, the personality of Graham Taylor, and legs like Chrissy Waddle?
It's me.
Correct answer.
I think it's a sort of middle-aged girl power. They are semi-liberated women.
Everything may be against them, and they're still going on. They're still having a good time, even in the face of adversity.
This hotel is a microcosm of all that is wrong with this God-forsaken country as we limp towards the 21st century.
Well, it's Cows Week, isn't it? It's the only place that's got a vacancy.
I wonder why. Did Mr. and Mrs. Bedbug have to cancel?
That reminds me, I could murder a toasted mutton sandwich.
Sharon's timing is impeccable. She sort of waits, looks, and then delivers the line, which I think is so clever.
But it doesn't seem interested. I don't understand it.
Perhaps you're being too subtle.
I hardly think so. When he came round today, I opened the door in my underwear.
I didn't know you had a door in your underwear. What is it? A tradesman's entrance?
Sharon, her delivery is just amazing. I mean, half of the comedians could take a leaf out of her book.
And in a way, you sort of know what she's going to say before she said it, so you're laughing. And when she actually does deliver the line, you're laughing twice as much.
He's been seeing another woman. No, a child. Tracy, she's 19. How can I compete with a 19-year-old?
I don't know. We're in here, Shal. Blimey, it's Alice Cooper.
She's got some of the best comebacks to Dorian. The repartee between those two is great.
I could ask her to become a patron of my charity.
What charity?
Well, I don't know. I'll start one.
Slag Aid?
Very smooth.
Think of the time you'd save if your drawers moved as easy as that. 4. Which means you're on Dorian's boobs. Otherwise known as the community chest.
Fat women, historically, whether it's cinema or television, have always been laughable.
Good afternoon, neighbours.
It was up until now.
Now, Sharon, fat people are supposed to be jolly. It's a tradition.
We was always the same weight, you and me.
And Sharon was the same weight as you and me. Ready together?
Personally, I think diets are a waste of time.
How would you know? You devour enough calories a day to feed a small African nation.
I'll have you know that I am the perfect weight for my size. I'm just 3 foot too short, that's all.
I mean, she's quite cool about her weight, which is rather refreshing to see on television, because on television everybody's so fanatical about their appearance. And she's quite comfortable with her size. And but she does adore food.
I remember a time when you couldn't eat nothing before going to visit Daryl.
Yeah, well, just goes to show how you can get used to anything given time.
Which he was.
Oh, who's that at the window?
Look, I'll swap you a bit of really tasty gossip for a bit of your slightly tasty fisherman's bake.
I'm not interested in gossip.
So then you think, well, she's not going to get this, but then she comes up with a master plan.
Achoo! Sorry, Trace.
I think you can tell that Sharon's the younger sister because Tracy is more sensible.
Right, I think you better get her in the car.
That's the problem. She says it's full of lobsters.
Big horrible ones!
Best way to humour them when they're in that state. Come on, all you lobsters. One after the other.
Poor Tracy. I do feel sorry for Tracy. I want to go and cuddle her. I think, poor darling, what's she got going for her? She's got nothing going for her.
Tell me the truth, Shal. Do you think I'm stupid?
No!
Well, Mum and Dad always thought I was. Whenever I came home from school and showed them my report, they'd just shake their heads and say, never mind, you've still got your looks.
You was lucky. Whenever I showed them my report, they just shook their heads.
She's got this great hangdog expression where she just looks like she knows. She's expecting Sharon to do something that's going to really annoy her.
Tracy, of course, does make a fool of herself. She mispronounces words. She doesn't understand gags.
All I'm saying, and I'm just playing devil's avocado here.
Tracy?
But I know the name of the place.
You do? Thank God.
Yeah, Communicado.
What?
She said we'll be in Communicado.
He carries on like I'm a mental leopard.
You mean leper?
Tracy is the typical elder sister who's a stand-in for Mum.
I can imagine when they were growing up, she was the one that always said, we can't do that, we're not allowed.
Better get some more cornflakes when we go shopping, Trace.
Still half a box left. I'm warming up some stuff I found in the back of the freezer.
What is it?
I don't know, the label's come off.
Trace?
I'm economising, we're skint, aren't we?
Look, all this stuff costs money. It ain't my fault.
I know, Shal, I'm sorry. It's just we're half going through our money quick.
Are we?
Yes. We've got the bill for the car insurance yesterday, the central heating boiler had to have its service last week, and the house insurance is due. Honestly, I don't know how Daryl used to manage it.
Of course you do, Trace. Used to knock over banks.
Just money runs through her hands. She can't cope. I mean, she's always trying to come up with schemes, isn't she, to make money.
Here you are. Shape of things to come. I was assembling it when you come home.
What is it? Can you get BBC Two on that?
You can see Sharon thinking, now, how much did this cost, or how did she pay for this?
Got a terrific discount.
So it weren't cheap then?
Plus 6 months interest-free credit.
We're talking arm and leg here, are we?
It was only £700, give or take.
Give or take what?
£300.
1,000 quid? 1,000 quid for a knitting machine? Trace, you can buy Giles Brandreth for 1,000 quid.
They sound like an old married couple. That's exactly the way people that know each other for years argue.
But it's a realistic relationship, and it's one that the best comedy's based on, because they like each other, and yet often they have the most terrible rows, and they're at each other all the time.
Dear Tracy, it's obvious that you and me living in the same house doesn't work. We just get on each other's Bristols. I'm going back to Edmonton. I'll ring you, love, Sharon.
Oh, Trace.
What's the matter? Now what's giving you the hump?
I ain't got the hump. What are you talking about?
This. Well, go on then. Go back to Edmonton if you want.
Oh, you silly cow. I wrote this when we had that row about me cutting my toenails with a bread knife.
I think they're very believable. I think that's what's extraordinary, although you would swear they were real sisters, which I think is wonderful.
I think one of the reasons why Birds of a Feather has lasted such a long time, about 7 years, is that the relationship between Tracy and Sharon assumes a history.
Remember all the games we used to play when we lived with her?
No.
Nah, you was too busy playing with Daryl. Me and Sylvia used to play them all the time. Either that or drafts.
I remember the drafts. That house was like an icebox. The only warmth I ever felt in that place was when you wet the bed we had to share. When we was kids and went to the caravan at Laysdown, you kept me awake all night with your tossing and turning.
We used to have a laugh down the caravan, though, didn't we?
No, we never. It rained all the time. And there was no telly. All we did was play Scrabble every day with Uncle Albert. And all he knew was swear words. It was his fault I got kicked out of the Brownies.
I think Sharon and Tracy are almost a classic comedy double act.
Tracy's a bit of the straight man, and Sharon's the comic in the duo.
Looks brilliant, Trace. Could adore her into lends her cutlery, eh?
Yeah, I just wish she hadn't lent us so much. I mean, where does it all go? Why do you have to have 3 forks when you've only got 1 mouth?
Well, it's etiquette, isn't it?
What's that mean?
Means you've got 2 spare in case you drop one.
You better not drop one. What's up? Even for you, you're walking funny.
You ain't caught something off that carpet fitter, have you?
Just seems to be something wrong with these Wellingtons.
You soppy mare. You haven't cut the bit of string that's holding them together.
I'm surprised you weren't panicking, Dawn. Must be the longest your knees have been together.
Well, you've basically got 3 women who are all having big man problems, you know. I mean, 2 of them don't have their men, and for one of them that's a blessing because it wasn't a great marriage. I mean, that's Sharon.
Shut your eyes.
What?
I've got a surprise for you. Shut your eyes and hold out your hand.
Getting lost, I fell for that one before. I should have guessed what you was up to and I had your zip.
The men in Birds of a Feather, at least the 2 husbands, bring truth to that old adage, women are the only adults, I think. Because they're just not. If you think about the jumper scene, where Sharon brings the jumper to her husband in prison, and he puts it on, and what it says is absolutely true.
Oh, nearly forgot your birthday present.
What? You got me something?
Yes.
Hey, you made me suffer for a whole hour first, though, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that way we both get some pleasure out of the visit, eh?
Oh. I'll put it on.
Yes.
Oh. Thanks, darling.
Sharon and Chris are kind of love-hate, aren't they? They love to hate each other.
Even before he went into prison, they probably didn't have a very strong relationship.
You owe me. Look, if I hadn't given you half the caff, you'd still be scrubbing floors for a living. I'll give you your first break.
You also gave me my first sexually transmitted disease, so don't try to...
I dreamt about you last night.
Did you?
No, you wouldn't let me.
He's 6'2", blonde, tanned, really well built with piercing blue eyes. Just your average Adonis. Why on earth should I notice someone like him when I'm married to a short-ass little greaseball like you?
The stupid husband jokes are a great antidote to the romantic way Tracy views her relationship with Daryl.
Oh, not here, Daryl.
Where should we go then, Butlins? Oh, lovely. Plenty to get hold of.
Why you? Plenty of what?
Nothing. Just the old love handles.
Daryl!
I didn't want to say nothing in case my leave didn't come through.
Ah! Oh! This is going to be a great Christmas!
If you think about the way the show is constructed, you have to have a relationship that actually works. It has to be funny, but it still has to work. So that's why Tracy's marriage still has that underlying hum of love. Because if we didn't have that, we'd all become really cynical.
I'm all right, babe. Just been a bit down lately, that's all. You know how it is.
Yeah. Have you tried speaking to the prison doctor? Maybe he can give you something.
That old quack. Last time I went to see him, he told me I should get out more.
Well, I still love you. Don't that cheer you up?
Of course it does. It's you what keeps me going.
I was saying, you might not mind having your bacon and eggs with some strange bloke.
Over easy.
But the only bloke who's getting in between my sheets is my Daryl.
Do I really admire you, Tracy? How long is it now?
She can't remember. It's been 3 years since she's seen it.
When the show started, I don't think anybody had any idea how huge Dorian was going to be.
She kind of controls the show in her own inimitable fashion.
God, dog, give it some willy!
Dorian, for me, is wonderful, wonderful. I love it.
I love the over-the-top Dorian character. I can't wait for her to arrive, thinking, what on earth is she going to wear this time?
Hello.
I don't think I've seen a selection of more ghastly outfits, actually, than I've seen on Dorian over the years.
Milko.
Dorian is the first comedic British Jewish princess who actually plays it to the hilt.
Cooey.
So no AP from Fame.
She thinks of herself as this glamorous, sexy, gorgeous, well-dressed, big-haired kind of woman.
You look like Sylvester Stallone's mum.
I've actually lived in Ilford, which isn't far from Chigwell, and there are women like her who spend hours, you know, at the beauty parlour.
Doing here?
And she, of course, she has the extraordinary nails, which are a wonderful vice that she uses. I mean, she uses it beautifully, with a bit like sort of painted talons.
Right! Where are those two slags?
What? Your girls, the ugly sisters, where are they?
They're in Berlin.
Oh, yeah. And I'm Barbara Cartland. Their ribs are growing torn out by a hungry pit bull terrier.
Oh, God. Not my groin.
And one of these big, tough women gets a meat cleaver from the Dutch, and they grab her hand, they put it on the board, and they go, wallop.
She faints because it's removed a bit of her femininity, and that's all she's got.
She's so hung up about the way she looks to a ridiculous extent.
I think she's the most comical of the three because her humour is totally taken seriously on her behalf.
I've got contusions on my gluteal maxima.
Oh, my God.
It means she's bruised her bum.
It's her visual. It's the visual comedy we get from Dorian, which we get more from her than Sharon or Tracy.
You can do that, can you? The important thing is not to panic.
But there is a tragic quality to Dorian, isn't there? She's, you know, nobody loves a fairy when she's 40.
You feel sorry for her. The pathos is wonderful.
God, I feel bleak. Nothing to look forward to except dry skin and a late moustache.
You can watch Bird of the Feather every week, you can laugh your head off. And you can also sometimes, and I've sat there and actually cried.
Is passion a crime? It's the currency of life. Spend it while you can. You'll be living on an overdraft soon enough. No, I'm glad I had Gary and Tony and Carl and what's his name?
Luke.
Oh, yes, Luke.
Oh, and Harvey and Eric, and that Dennis from the AA.
And that solicitor in the high street.
And the tennis coach, and Giovanni from the salon, and Vince with the big Harvey Davidson.
And all those wonderful backroom boys.
And front room boys.
Yes.
If Sharon Tracy weren't there, I mean, she'd definitely be a very kind of lonely psycho, probably next door neighbour, I'd imagine. It'd probably push her over the edge.
Where am I going now? On day trips to Waltham Abbey. With a coachload of hysterectomies.
Dorian has no hint of where woman power or girl power comes from. She thinks it's sleeping with men.
Dorian, you didn't.
I did. Twice.
How could you? On Virgin of all airlines.
I know, isn't it ironic?
Most people get their nuts in little packets. Not her, though.
I've always wanted to join the Mile High Club. Hopefully that should earn me honorary life membership.
I doubt it, you daft tart. We ain't taken off yet. We're still on the flipping runway.
Dorian. She's the type of girl who can trip a man up and be underneath him before he hits the ground.
I mean, she's a raving nymphomaniac. I mean, anybody that moves, anybody in trousers, she must leap on.
Yeah. I've been on the job for 24 hours.
Thanks very much, love.
It's okay.
Oh, not even a disaster can stop you.
When everyone on the Titanic was making for the lifeboat, she'd have been trying to unzip the purser.
Firemen are my favourite emergency service. I must have one.
I'm wasting my time.
And be subtle when you introduce us.
All right, all right.
Right, Shirley?
All right, Wayne. Wayne, you haven't met my friend, have you? Dorian, this is Wayne. Wayne, it's your birthday.
Dorian is sort of the, I don't know, the female equivalent of the Dartford Tunnel. I mean, everybody's had her. I mean, she's the kind of woman who has graffiti on the inside of her thighs.
This is not my underwear.
They're not hers, mate. She wouldn't wear anything with a crotch.
Oh, no. Been getting dirty phone calls, have you? How awful. What exactly did they say? My trainer, Brett. A seething mass of testosterone, crammed into a pair of figure-hugging lycra cycling shorts. He has the looks of an Adonis and a body to die for.
And like you, who has the looks of a donut and a body that died years ago.
I've heard people go, God, she's a right Dorian. And you know immediately exactly what they mean.
Oh, yes. And I mean, I definitely met Dorian-type ladies.
She's kind of a tart with a heart, really.
I haven't got a lot of stuff. I could be in my little flat by Monday.
Don't try and blackmail me. Take my car.
Are you mad? Brakes dodgy, are they? Well, 2 minutes ago we was calling each other names.
Oh, that was just banter. I didn't mean it.
I did.
Look, do you want it or not? I mean, it doesn't
Oh, yeah,
matter.
yeah, great. Cheers. Cancel that cab, Trace.
What are you after?
I want to rent Sharon's flat.
What for? It's dingy and grimy and above a greasy spoon that's always full of workmen. You're a trollop, you are.
I always think it's intriguing, because Dorian always calls the girls her best friends. You're thinking, well, that's a little sad, because with her circle of friends, you'd think she'd have a lot of friends. She obviously doesn't. She obviously adores the girls.
Not troubling you, am I? Didn't know if you had company, didn't want to be in the way.
Spooky, isn't it? She looks like Dorian. She sounds like Dorian. But she's too nice to be Dorian.
Please, I have something to say. I know I have a tendency to barge in when I have nothing better to do and to outstay my welcome. But just recently, when you have been so busy with Hayley and Colin, I realised just how much I value your friendship and your company. I missed you. Who'd have thought I would be best friends with two coarse, foul-mouthed criminals' wives like you?
You know, comedy doesn't work where people love each other and are friends all the time. It just doesn't. There has to be that area where you just can't stand each other and you wind each other up the wrong way, and there are things about each other that you find, you know, laughable, ridiculous.
Sister? Oh,
can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a chili pepper, that's right. Whatever you do, don't bite it.
All right, Dora, I'm very sorry I read your diary. You can read mine if you like, then we'll be even.
Oh, hardly. Your daily routine is no secret. Got up, ate, went back to bed.
What do the girls get from Dorian? I suppose they get a taste of life that they will never, ever achieve.
Hello, fans.
What are you doing here?
Oh, thank you for that heartfelt reception, Sharon.
My pleasure. Now sling your hook.
If that's the way you feel, Sharon, I will. But before I go, I'd like you both to have this.
It's the holiday voucher.
What are you giving it to us for? You won it.
Because you need it. So take it.
I don't know what to say.
Thanks, Dor. I always said you was one of the best, didn't I?
That must be your horse, Sharon. Isn't he magnificent?
Lee, now. Can't I have found something a bit smaller?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, Sharon, they could hardly put you on a Shetland pony. Think what the RSPCA would say. Come on.
Typical dinner menu. Smoked salmon with beluga caviar, or gazpacho or Mediterranean prawns, followed by roast ribs of beef, canardos kumquat.
Oh, kumquat. It's duck, served with a sauce made from tiny oranges.
What? It's like having your dinner and your afters on the same plate.
Don't mind giving it a bash. No chance to be a foreign thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll stuff the turkey this set soon. All right?
I think it's quite funny the way that Dorian looks down upon Sharon and Tracy because of the class difference.
I talked to the doctor. I said you was me auntie.
Sharon, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, no. Did you make an effort to speak properly, or do they now think I've got working-class people in my family?
It's all right, Dor. What I actually said was we was just mates.
Thank heavens for that.
I said we met down the DSS.
What do you mean you're 081? We're all 081. We're out of London.
Well, exactly.
Well, you can't move just because of that. It's just two areas. Inner London's 071, out of London's 081. So what's the difference?
Don't be so silly, Tracy. It isn't geography, it's status. And those three little numbers are cruelly eloquent. They say so much. 071 says select, 081 says common. I don't care what Maureen Lipman says.
Dorian profoundly believes that she is posh.
She doesn't know the difference between what's really smart and what's vulgar.
She's an aspiring snob. She actually isn't the classy lady she thinks she is. I mean, she's certainly not upper class.
Having a personal trainer is like driving a Mercedes sports car or skiing in Aspen.
How can having a trainer be like driving a car?
It's an allergy.
I've got one of those.
One of what?
An allergy. Every time I wear nylon drawers, I get a rash all over me bum.
Dorian thinks she's posh. I mean, she'd have fruit in the house when nobody's ill.
I think Dorian gets a sense of lording it over them.
She's constantly picking up the girls for pronouncing their words incorrectly. Like she's awfully well read, which she probably isn't. I mean, she probably only reads Hello and OK magazine, do you know what I mean?
Dor, why don't you come down that new tap house bar with me and Trace?
I told you, I ain't going up no tap house bar.
It's tapath. Tapath.
Oh, it's...
How's Tracy's diet going?
Don't ask. She's driving me mad. I have to watch her like an orc.
What's an orc?
Class is very important. We love to see people social climbing, don't we? That was the appeal of Hancock years ago. He was always trying to be a bit better than what he was.
Headmaster's office. Dr. Kenworthy, hello. This is Mrs. Stubbs, Garthy's mummy. I've just had a garbled message about some choral trip abroad. Oh, really? I didn't even know he was in the school choir. I've only ever heard him scream along with Def Leppard. Yes, I suppose 'tis a honour.
My hubby and I have just bought this house with the most enormous garden, and we was just wondering how much a swimming pool would set us back. Size? Well, average. Sort of swimming pool size. 25 foot by 12 foot. Yes, that sounds about right. And how much would that cost us? How much?
And I think deep down all that snobbiness which goes on, they do, three of them love each other. It's the most wonderful relationship.
I want to go home. Oh, put me down.
Excuse me. We're looking for Mr. Marcus Green.
I'm afraid only immediate family are allowed in.
I'm his wife, Dorian Green.
I'm his sister, Tracy Green.
I'm his cousin, Bottle Green.
Write that kind of comedy that appeals to such a broad base.
Marcus getting better is all that matters. I've even been thinking about having him flown out to Lord's.
And what good would that do? He's hardly in any condition to sit up and watch cricket, is he?
I think the familiarity is part of the enjoyment, you know. The characters are very well set and very well defined.
And the minute they were created by great acting, great writing, they suddenly came to life and people believe in them. And what's more important, people care about them, flawed though they may be.
We really must do this again sometime.
Great, when?
How's about when hell freezes over? Ciao.
What was that?
Came from out the back by the pool.
Oh, my God. Burglars. Call the police.
We can't.
Why not?
The filter unit was on Police 5 last week.
It's real. And it's just, it's a bit of madness for half an hour.
Go!
Mum.
Heavens has grown.
And the bit at the end of the show where they show the video of the two children running about. Now, I don't know whether this is stupid of me, but I mean, I think that's real. I think we all think that's them. I mean, I don't actually know if it is or not, but we believe in Sharon and Tracy and Pauline and Linda, basically, so much that I think it is them. Is it?
What'll I do
When you are far away.
What'll I do?
When I'm alone with only dreams of you, that won't come true.
What'll I do?